let's take a moment and do some cooking. In this episode we're gonna make some dal balls or dal bhaji or dal puree, depends on where you are and what culture you're in and if you're English or Asian or other. Right. So what you would need is some dal seeds, so these ones here. You can buy these from any supermarket, you can buy these from any cash and curry. You just need to buy the small seeds, put them in a cold water, leave it for about 5 to 6 hours to moisten and to get wet and cold. The ingredients you need for this are tomatoes. This isn't a must in this cooking bhaji or ball, but it will make more flavor. You definitely need onion, and you do definitely need ginger. Grate the ginger if you have a whole ginger, or you can buy the grated ginger if you do need to, but best to get the fresh ginger, grate it, and there you go. Need 2 whole cloves of onion, 2 cherry tomatoes or 1 large tomato. It all depends on your if you want to sweeten it a bit. It all depends on that. Chili, again, it's all about taste. I and my family tend to like it very spicy, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 chilies here. They're very hot and very potent, so it's recommended. It's up to you if you do want this kind of chili. If you don't, the other ingredients is you need some turmeric powder. I've got them in a jar here. You just need a pinch of turmeric powder. I'll go through this one when we start cooking and blending. You need some curry powder just to add some flavor, extra flavor to it, to make it a bit more crispier. The onion will help with that, and you need a blender. I'm just using a basic blender here. It's a bog standard blender. You can use the normal typical blenders or just use a basic one. That will do the job. The blender is for the dal. You can buy these dal anywhere, any supermarket, they sell it, because restaurants and all that make dal purees and tatka dal you may have heard of when you do make curries. So the first thing you need to do is grind the dal to a paste. Then we'll cut everything else up and I'll go from there. Now start drying the dal all together. Put it in the sieve and use some hot or cold water. It all wouldn't really make any difference, so just use all of that to actually rinse it, give it a bit more thorough clean. That will just give it the last cleanliness you need to do, because they're from a packet. It just needs to be a bit more thorough, and when you've done the cleaning we'll start the grinding and everything. Go. Now we're going to put all the dal into my compact blender here. That will blend everything up. Watch out for water going on the surface, so try to keep it clean if you do want to, but if you don't mind cleaning later, it's absolutely fine. So with the dal we're going to put the chili, ginger all together, so chili and ginger, so it mixes. The chili will be less potent when it mixes in. I'm keeping everything, so I've cut the chili and the ginger is grated. I'm going to pop that in, and I'm going to blend everything up. So it's going to be quite loud, so I'll show you a few seconds of the blending. After that we'll just blend it and we'll come back to the video. So turn it on and start blending. Yep. This may take a few minutes or seconds, but after the blend is finished we'll come back. After the puree is finished, it should look smooth as this. Let's have a closer look. So over here there may be some seeds hanging about, but if it is quite smooth as you can see here, it will be absolutely fine. So we're going to add the other ingredients in and make them into a ball. So let's add everything else in and make it. So we'll start cutting the onion. Try to make it quite small and fine as you can. So keep on slicing it, making it thin. If you do find it hard, you can buy a chopper from any retail shop. That will chop everything out for you. So slice it one side, then turn it around, slice it again, make it thin as you can, and that's the best way to do it. We'll do the same with the tomato as well, and with the rest of the onion. Let me give you a close-up of how thin and how thick it should be. So if you look here, it just should be thin as that. So it's quite light, quite fibre, so it blends in with the dal, and that will help it with the structure and everything. So you can carry on cutting, and when you do carry on cutting it, you'll get used to it. If you do find it hard, use a chopper if you do need to. As the onion has been done, let's cut the tomato. Again, same process. If you do need a chopper, you can get one of them sharp choppers, but a knife is fine. Do try to get a serrated knife or a quite very sharp knife, and then just chop it and slice it until you're basically content. So 2 small pieces is the ideal, but if you do make it thick, it will be fine, but best to make it small pieces so it blends in much easier. Tomato should be easier too, so it will add the smoothness to it because it's quite quickly, quite substantial, the dal ball itself. So the tomato should break it down a bit. And to add more flavouring, I do use coriander. So it's all up to you if you do want to do that as yourself. So with the coriander, the same process again. Keep on cutting and slicing until they're quite fine. Thicker it is, it's going to be harder to stay in the dal bowl, but smaller it is, it's easier. This will make it a bit more intense, a bit more flavoury. You don't have to use coriander, but I do. So get a handful of coriander, slice it and dice it, and you're ready to go. This will be all added with the dal. We'll make it into a bowl, as I mentioned earlier. And let's add the dal into our bowl, so I'll bring the bowl over. I've got half a teaspoon of salt here. Again, with all type of cooking and food, you do need salt. It's all up to your own preference and of how much salt you like to put in the food. So I'm using half teaspoon. You can use less or you can use more. It all depends on how much salt you like to eat, but it does help a lot. Let's put the onion in and we'll start mixing everything up. So the onion's going in straight away. Yep, and after the onion we'll put in the salt, and with the salt we'll put it in the onion itself, mix it all up. I won't use the whole of the salt. We'll mix it, then add more on it, and then mix it. That will help it out a bit more. So you just keep on mixing until you feel the salt has integrated with the onion itself. So keep on mixing and keep on mixing. Watch out, onion does give you tear drops, so try to be in and out with mixing the onion. Now the tomato will go in, and the coriander will mix in all up. So after that, as the salt has sipped in, we'll put in the coriander and the tomato. We'll mix it up. Now we're gonna put a teaspoon of tarmic powder. So very small amount of tarmic powder. You can add more or less, all depends on your own flavouring itself. The turmeric does give it a bit more smooth flavours. And now the curry powder that you can buy this in the supermarket. We do use that on a regular basis and a lot of cooking. Again, half a teaspoon of curry powder. That will give it a more of the curry flavour if you do want it to have that. You don't have to use, but we tend to all the time use it for all of our foods. All that. So carry on mixing it up. Now we're gonna put it in the dal itself. Yes, the dal. Put that into a bowl now and just mix it up. And after you mix it, make it so into a ball. So keep on mixing and mixing until you feel it smooth and everything. Carry on mixing, and it should come into a combination where you have even dal, coriander, onions and everything all together, so you're not missing any parts. So this is the final part of it. Now after this we are going to make it into a ball, and fry it up. I'm going to use olive oil, but you can use sunflower oil, bean oil, all up to you. What oils do you want to use? So we'll put the oil and everything in and fry it up. So now we're going to put the garlic in and make it into a ball. I've got sunflower oil in there. This time I'm going to use that, and I'm going to turn the gas on while everything gets hot. That, as the gas is on, so while the oil gets hot, we're just gonna wait for that to get hot, and we're gonna put the ball. I'll say make a small, around about that size balls, and pop it into the oil, and that will fry everything up. So let's make them into a ball and put them in the pan. So the oil should be hot by now, so leave it for about 2-3 minutes to get hot. So we'll make it into a ball and drop it in. So be careful with the oil, it can spit out when it does get hot, and because you put onion and other type of things that are quite prone to spitting out, it can spit out. So we'll carry on putting, it depends on how many you like, it's all up to you how many you want to put it in and how much you want to make. So I'm going to make a portion for about 4 to 5 people, 2 adults, 2 kids. So I'll at least put about 7 to 8 balls depending on your appetite. These are very good for snacks and everything. You will need a spatula, you see at the end. A steel spatula will be fine, that has holes in it so you can drain all the oil from it as well. So let it fry. It does take a few minutes to fry it, but carry on until you fill the bowl. It's like putting chips in, it will take a few minutes and it will carry on frying through all the way through. It will go golden brown, so we'll come back to it when it goes golden brown, and we'll see if it's done. As you can see, it's frying up and it's still whitish, goldish, brownish. It hasn't gone to the optimum degree yet that it needs to go. So we'll come. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna come back 5 to 10 minutes later and see if it's all done. So let's just wait a few minutes and we'll see if it's done, everybody. Best thing to do every few minutes, about 2 or 3 minutes, use the spatula or the sieve or whichever you have to stir it so the oil flows, it moves about so it doesn't stick together. So try to keep it apart. Every few minutes just move it around, and it's as simple as that. Very easy to make. It's a light snack. It can be quite fattening. If you do want something very healthy, definitely don't go for this. But if you want something tasty and nice, absolutely go for this, and keep on stirring as I'm doing there. Try to move it around, flip it over so it fries both sides, inside and out. And after, as I mentioned, after 5-10 minutes of this, it will be done. So it has turned golden brown, so now it's ready to come out. So get some tissue paper and put it on a little bowl or a plate, and we'll lift this out and put it on. There you go. This helps it dry out. It's going to be quite crispy, very tasty. If you do like chilli on it, add a lot more chilli. If you don't add any chilli. It's all up to you how you want to make it. So it's very easy to make. It's a light snack and it's good for tea time. All the family will like it. After it's done, it will look like this, and that's all it's to it. You can use tomato sauce or ketchup, or depends on what sauce you like to just dip it in, and it's nice and crispy. Watch out, it's very hot because it came out of the frying, but it will look like this. And some may get flat, some may not, but it's going to be hot and crispy. And if you do like this video, rate and subscribe, and everybody enjoy. There'll be a few more videos on these cooking equipment. This is SMU955 signing out. Thank you and good night.